big guy. He comes up to the table, and I'm Mr. Popularity. Yeah. And I said, yeah, how can I help you? And he leaned over. He says, you lucky you still alive, motherfucker. He said, that was my girl you had on her knees. He says, you're lucky I don't kill you right now. Okay, T-shirt? Pop in the tape, man.
Okay, so it looks like you got a haircut.
I did.
Don't mess it up. Push it like this. There. Yeah. That's better. You feel more handsome? Well, why is all this? Why did they leave all that part?
I'm a clown, you see, and clowns. These are natural.
Is that
things.
your bozo? Is that
your
bozo
I'm a
the
bozo clown, and this grows naturally. It's from being funny all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And doing funny things.
Speaking of funny, I was thinking about how you used to go on the road a lot to do comedy clubs. After you broke up with Cheech, you started doing stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
And then you brought Shelby on the road with you. And I was thinking, like, you guys got around all over the country. You'd fly to a place and then rent a car and then drive.
Yeah.
And then drive to another venue.
Yep.
And all around. And this is like before cell phones. This is before like, the maps in the cars.
Yep.
And I just...
Waze.
Yeah. How did you do
navigation.
Did you guys get lost a lot?
I don't know how we did it. I swear to God.
Yeah.
I don't know how we did it. Shelby was, she's very aware and intelligent, and not a stone. But when Cheech and I were together, that was a joke.
But you and Shelby, like, she was your co-pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then...
Well, more like the pilot. I was like the co-pilot driving the car.
But you were physically driving, though.
Yeah, I was a driver, but she was a pilot. Yeah.
Right. And then you do these clubs, and then you do a lot of radio beforehand. So you got to know a lot of these radio guys from back in the day.
And it was early morning radio.
Yeah, who was your favorite back then?
I guess Johnny from Kansas City.
Kansas City?
Yeah, Johnny.
Do you know his last
Fever. It was.
It's been a while, huh? And then you did Mancow? You did Man?
Oh, Mancow. Oh, yeah. Mancow and I, we had a thing going. Because Mancow is a weird guy, man.
Is he?
Oh, man. He had real thick glasses.
But he had that voice and that energy.
The energy and the craziness. But it didn't match when you seen him in
right,
person.
because this is like radio before they had cameras on filming them. So they were just pure voice.
Oh, just voice. He had no clue of what they looked like, Mancow had big, thick glasses, and it was radio time, man. Yeah. And Howard Stern. We influenced Howard Stern so much.
And you used to go on Howard Stern a lot.
All the time.
This is before he got too cool for school. Now he only like hangs with like the true elite.
Oh yeah. When Cheech and I got back together again, he had us on a show, and that was it. After that, we would go to the station in New York and see Gary, the guy. And, at one time I was like, walk in, hey, how you doing? I was part of the show. Yeah. But then after Cheech and I got back together again, we were on one time, and that was it.
That was it. Yeah.
That was it. Yeah. Yeah. But I understand, we're old news, and Howard's trying to hang him with the new ones. Yeah. Always,
Yeah.
But yeah, the radio was really.
So did you used to get a lot of hecklers when you did comedy?
Probably, but I'm deaf, so I probably didn't hear them.
You weren't that deaf back then.
No, yeah, I've always been kind of deaf. No, more than hecklers. No, everybody.
Remember, you used to do that bit where you teach girls how to do salsa, and then you and you'd like bend them over, and like
I think I started the Me Too movement because Because, man, my act got so sexist. Oh, my God.
And dirty, too, right? And wait, okay, so explain the bit.
Okay, the bit was how to dance salsa.
Right.
You know, salsa is going to be, you know, I was learning salsa and everything. And so I would do the salsa teacher.
Yeah.
And the first thing you do, you must always look, you know, very Spanish. You must always look like you just smelled a fart. And you were looking for who did it. That's as a teacher. Now, to teach, you must learn how to talk to the ladies, and very important. So I'd get a volunteer. I'd say, you know, someone would like to learn salsa. Come on. And so of course, and I usually had my eye on the prettiest girl.
Right.
Pretty girls love to get on stage for any reason.
Yeah.
And so I'd get a pretty girl on stage, and then and I'd tell them, okay, the first rule of salsa is you must respect your partner. You see. So if a teacher comes up to you and he starts doing this to you, that's not salsa.
So you'd be grabbing her butt.
I'd grab her by. I'd say, that's not salsa. This is not salsa. If they do this, that means they're just trying to cop a feel. You should never let them. If they do this, walk away. Leave right away. But if they just do this, that's different. You might have a date.
No, but before that, you would say.
And they would do it.
You know, but before that, you would say something like, "You gotta like, come here, bitch," or something like that. What was it?
Oh, I forgot that one. Yeah, about how you talk. You must be very assertive. You know.
Yeah. Come here, bitch.
You know, hey, come on. Yeah. I
And
didn't
then
do that a lot.
you would like, I think.
But let me tell you
you
how.
would bend over the girls sometimes.
Oh no!
What was that part?
That part was when we were doing the dogs. I'd get a girl up to be my partner because my wife wouldn't do it anymore for me. And so I'd get a girl who would volunteer, you know, and show the doggy bit because that was a very
and then you would
popular
pretend you were
one.
humping the dog.
No, and so then they would be down, and they crawl around their knees, and I did that in Seattle at that little comedy club, and then after I'm signing T-shirts and everything else, and this huge black guy wasn't really black, was like mixed, but he was a giant, like Blake Griffin, you know, like a Blake Griffin. It could have been Blake Griffin. Big guy, he comes up to the table, you know, and I'm Mr. Popularity, and I said, "Yeah, how can I help you?" And he leaned over, he says, "You lucky you still alive, motherfucker." He said, "That was my girl you had on her knees." He says, "You're lucky I don't kill you right now." Okay, T-shirt? I quit doing that bit that night.
Oh, you did? That was it?
That was the end of that.
Oh, come on. Just one threat and then that was it?
You can't push your luck. I mean, when you get those warnings, heed them. So I quit doing that bit. Oh, yeah. Man, I had the best time. Couldn't do it now, though.
Yeah, I think, maybe not.
Did I ever tell you how I got into it?
How?
Back to comedy?
Dennis Miller, right?
I was writing movie scripts, trying to get movies off the ground and everything else. And then I heard Dennis Miller was going to be performing in Vancouver. We were in Vancouver at the time, at this little comedy club owned by a friend of mine.
And this is when Dennis Miller was like normal, right?
Before Dennis was
before he turned into.
He was famous from Saturday Night.
Yeah, but before he turned like a.
Oh yeah, before he
lunatic.
went right wing.
Yeah.
He lost his gig. You know, he's like Geraldo.
Yeah.
You know, Geraldo was the left wing hero, and then all of a sudden Dennis Miller was the right. You know, he was a hippie at first.
Yeah.
And then he turned right wing.
Yeah. Because it's a bigger paycheck.
Well, yeah, it actually fit in with his mindset.
Right.
Know? So Dennis went on, and he heard I was in the audience, so he wanted to meet me. So I went backstage. I met Dennis Miller, and he treated me like a comic.
Uh-huh.
I love that. He says, "Do you still get nervous?" And I hadn't been on stage for about 3 years, and I said, Yeah, I knew what he was going through, so I said, "Oh yeah, I get nervous too." And then I watched the show, and I thought, "Oh man, I got to do this.
Yeah.
I got to do this." And so then I went, and I'll tell you, the night I went on stage was the night after Rodney King got beat.
Uh-huh.
And my first bit, and by the way, I'm going to be a comedian, so I put on a sports jacket.
Right,
I was all, like the Jewish comedian,
Yeah.
And I got my sports jacket on, and in the valley, I get on stage, and I start a bit about, what was his name that got beat?
Rodney King.
Rodney King. I says, when you're on TV, it doesn't matter what you do. Your mother's very proud that you're on TV. And I can just see the mother of one of the cops saying, "Did you see him? He was the one that was beating him." Yes. He's healthy. Did you see it? Did you see it?
That's fucked up.
And so
that's pretty dark.
That was my bit.
Did you get a laugh?
I got a couple of chuckles, and then a guy goes, "Hey, where's Cheech?"
Right.
And that busts a bubble.
Yeah.
That was like, okay, see you later. And so then I hooked up with Paul Reiser's manager, Arthur. And the first thing Arthur said was, "Lose his sports coat."
That's a good advice.
He said, "Go back to the blue jean shirt."
Yeah, or a T-shirt too. Like, you just wear a T-shirt.
But don't try to be what you're not.
Yeah.
And that was the only thing he gave me. And then I wanted him to just put me in, easy gigs. Opening.
Right.
Right. I had no time.
Yeah.
And so next thing I know, I'm headlining at the next club.
Yeah.
Thanks to him.
Yeah, you can't tell an agent, "Hey, I want to ease into this." They're like, "Fuck that, man. You're headlining. Figure it out."
"Hey, you want Tommy Chong? Yeah, I got him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing stand-up. You got him."
Yeah.
First show, man, I had no time. They, where was it at? It was in Clearwater, Florida.
Okay.
And there's a whole ton of comedians. They're all hanging out there, and Tommy Chong's going on. I get up there. I got 5 minutes. And it wasn't Rodney King. It was something else, And then they had to put the other comics back on because I never had enough time. So all the other comics were going back on. I got another show to do. I'm sitting in the broom closet trying to write bits.
So did you get it together?
I did. I did the lucky me, I was working at Gold's Gym at the time, bodybuilding, and there's a photographer, Artie Zeller.
Yeah.
He was the one that took all of Arnold's pictures and everybody's pictures. Artie would come in every day with a joke. For about 3 months, I think it was a serendipity, because I needed material, and so Artie would come in and tell me.
So you remembered all those jokes?
Oh yeah.
How do you see? Like, you have a gift because you remember jokes. Like,
it's a lifeline. When you got a line and you're drowning, and someone throws you a joke, and you're a comedian. Oh, are you kidding?
Yeah.
You don't forget.
Yeah, necessity.
Oh yeah. Well, I got trained doing music.
Yeah.
So
learning. Speaking of that, what's funny to me is that what's it called when you do more than you're required to do? What's the word for that? When you do more than you're required to do.
Overextending or overdoing it.
Overdoing, like, because what is it? Selling? No. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that, like, when you used to do a show, all of a sudden you didn't just do stand up, then you do sketches, and then you do like work with the audience, and then you get people coming on stage, and then you'd pull out the guitar, and then you'd start singing. I mean, you had like 5 different elements to your act, and I'm thinking, man, like, this is overkill. Like, you could just say a few jokes and then save your energy, Dad. Like, what is it? Like, why did you feel the need to do so much?
To keep the ball rolling, keep the machinery going,
Right.
Because you know, I was known for, you know, the songs because Cheech and I did all the records.
Right.
And so you know, you just mentioned a song. You
and,
see,
and then they wanted to hear it.
It's memory. Is that Dave Draper?
Yeah.
Bill Pearl and who's the? That's Artie. Oh, that's Artie. That's Artie. Yeah. That's the guy that give me all the jokes.
Yeah.
One day he came to the gym and he goes, you know, I've been telling you jokes for 3 months. You've never given me one joke. And Artie, I don't have any. I'm using all yours. He was funny. I'll tell you what, the one joke that he told me that I used, it was funny. This guy goes hunting and he's got his gun. He goes into the woods and he sees a bear. So he takes his gun, he raises the gun up, and he takes careful aim. Bam, he shoots. The bear falls down. Mm-hmm. And the guy thinks, wow, he got it. And he runs over there. No bear. Nothing. And he's looking around, and all of a sudden the bear appears from the back. And he grabs the guy, and he turns the guy around. He pulls his pants down, and then he buggers him in the back. And so the guy, then the bear leaves him. And the guy goes home and he goes, what the? So he gets his gun. He figures the gun wasn't powerful enough. He gets a bigger gun. Next day he comes back and he's looking, and there's the bear again. And the bear is just standing there. And so the guy raises his new gun. Boom, he shoots the bear. The bear falls down. The guy runs over. No bear. Sure enough, he hears the thing behind him.
Oh, shit.
The guy grabs him again and whips his pants down and buggers him again. The guy's really pissed this time. So he goes home, and this time he gets a bazooka or something. You know, he comes back, and he does the same routine. But this time the bear says to him, you don't really come here to hunt, do you? Isn't that a beautiful joke?
That's a good one.
That was Artie's joke, man. And that was the first one he told me, and he told me so many after that. But I love that joke, and I used it. You know, yeah, it killed. You know, but then I started, you know, learning how to
write your own material.
Well, like you said, you know, I did all these different things because it's not, you know, that I can do it. It's that's all the shit I can do.
Yeah. But you don't need to do it. You don't need to do that much.
You would think.
Yeah.
But when, you know, like I said, you know.
Well, you like to have the ability to go there if you need to.
Yeah.
Like if they're not digging the stand-up routine, okay, let's play some music. And then I think you'd say that sometimes if the crowd was really fucked up, and then you needed to start playing some music because they won't shut the fuck up.
That was right? Cheech and Chong's ray gun, you know, because I was a musician to begin with, and we never worried about the crowd participation because we controlled it with the volume and the music we played. Right. And so one time Cheech and I we got a New Year's Eve gig. Now that's usually hell on New Year's Eve. A comedian on New Year's Eve, you know. Good luck. It sounds
like a good idea, but it's just not, right?
So we were at PJ's, and it was a black club on Santa Monica. It's not there anymore, but it had the Carmen McRae and the Whispers, all the black acts and that. And so Cheech and I were hired as like house comedians,
right?
And at first, you know, all the black pimps and players, you know, they're sitting in the front row, you know, and they'd introduce us, and they'd just turn their back on us, you know. Just, you know, they're too cool to see these guys, you know, do comedy, and then pretty soon their old ladies would tell them, "Shut up, these guys are funny," you know. And then eventually these guys turn around, and so we had a lot of black material because Cheech would do Right On Washington. You ever see him do that?
Yeah.
Right on Washington. Right on. Because we got more soul. It was a funny bit, but it was so,
especially in a black club.
it was so racist. And
No,
so,
but that's the only time you could do it, right? You can't do
Yeah.
that in a white club, like.
well, we did it, but
Yeah,
but
but-
basically, you know, it was a black club, and so and all our humor, you know, because I grew up, you know, in the black
Yeah.
audience, and so and then I had Blind Melon Chillin'.
Yeah.
We always had Blind Melon Chillin' to go to,
Yeah.
see, because Blind when I was when we were just starting up, young, you know, I had a physical blind act that I got from Crazy Horse Saloon in Paris.
Oh yeah.
Because the Crazy Horse Saloon, they were known
Where the
for
girls do the
all their beautiful girls,
Yeah.
all the same height.
where they kick the legs up.
That was more Moulin Rouge.
Oh, Moulin Rouge. Okay.
But the Crazy Horse Saloon was similar.
They do an act like that.
They would
like a
do it.
cabaret act.
The cabaret act.
Yeah.
And so, but the comedians, because it was language, they had to do a lot of physical humor.
Oh yeah, so the German guy could get it, and the American.
So
guy
everybody
could
could get it,
Yeah.
and we saw the best of the best because the circuses,
Right.
that's where it come from. And so then when I started doing Blind Melon Chillin', I stole a few of their moves, you
Right.
know. Like I would start
Oh yeah, when the leg gets out of control.
get my leg going, you know, and then pretty soon it get out of hand, and I was trying to hold it down, and we'd have the audience crying.
But I want to go back to when you did comedy, like solo,
Stand up,
stand up.
yeah.
And I want to know, like, so did you have any bad heckler nights?
Yeah, but nothing really too serious, you know, because the clubs that we worked at, you know, they wouldn't allow.
So the
hecklers.
bouncer would come over there,
Oh yeah,
or the doorman
yeah.
would just,
If it's open mic night or something, you know, they leave everybody alone.
but if you got a star there.
you got a Tommy Chong.
Yeah, because they bought tickets usually.
Well, they bought tickets and they want to hear a show. They don't want to listen to some drunk, you know,
Right.
guy or girl, you know, you know.
And then they some places would serve food and alcohol, right?
Oh, yeah.
And when the waitresses, I remember going to a couple clubs and I couldn't believe how noisy the waitresses were, like, and the waiters, you know, getting the food orders and stuff. And you're trying to do a show.
I remember I told you.
Oh yeah, get the fuck out of my way.
The Troubadour.
Yeah.
The Troubadour. We did a record. We've been the house comedians
Yeah.
for about a year.
You told me this on the last episode.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Well, I'm telling it again.
But-
And so they went Cheech and Chong, and everybody was just waiting for us, and so I'm ready to go on stage. I go down, getting ready so I can just pop on stage when they
Right.
say, "Here's Cheech and Chong," and this waitress come behind me, and literally pushed me out of the way in the back, and she said, "Get the fuck out of my way." And then the guy said, "Cheech and Chong." And so I staggered on the stage.
Okay, let's talk about club owners, comedy club owners. So, is it true that that some of them are not trustworthy?
Thebes?
Well, like
Yeah.
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 So, and then some of them may have had drinking or substance abuse problems.
Oof. All sorts of problems.
Could you identify those problems, like on the first night, and kind of get paid before?
Oh, that. Yeah. There was a few times. Yeah, we went through it. More with Cheech and I.
Right.
Because we were doing huge concerts.
So there's more money involved.
Well, there was all, you know, these huge, like Bull Run had 800,000 people.
Right. And you got to get a check.
That's an estimate. And so the first thing we would do when we arrive on the venue was Cheech would go and get our check, get our
Yeah.
money. Because a lot of times if the gig didn't go well, there was no one around to pay you,
Right,
you know.
right.
So you were stuck. So we got our money before we went on stage. Yeah, and Bull Run, it was... and so Cheech goes in to get the money, and the guy's got a big mound of cocaine on the desk, and he covers up with a paper.
Hey, don't mind this.
Takes a paper and covers it up. Yeah, can I help you? Yeah, okay. Oh, your money, yeah, no problem. Here you go. Okay, see you later. You know, Yeah, it was cocaine. Oh man, some of those. You know, I wouldn't call them the good old days for comedy.
No.
800,000 people. You know who you're entertaining?
Yeah.
The stagehands.
Yeah.
Because they're the only ones close enough to hear what you're doing.
Yeah, because they didn't have like the speaker systems that they do now, where there's speakers all throughout the arena, right? It was just on the stage. That was it, right?
Yeah.
One wall.
Yeah. And it was during a storm, and the thing the parachute they put over top of the stage was filled with water. And it was a steady, like a waterfall coming down right in front of Cheech and I. And we had to have our chairs because we do the driving bit.
Right.
And we're there. But we motored through it. I don't know how we did it, but we motored through it. And the few thousand people in front, they got a good show.
So let's go back to when you were solo. It can get pretty depressing being on the road, like leaving your family, leaving your wife, leaving your kids. Obviously, you're going to miss your kids a lot.
I couldn't remember if I had kids then.
So anyways, because you fly, you drive, you're in a hotel, and you're doing the shows, and then you're...
the worst thing about being solo?
What?
You got no protection. Because the promoter or the club owner or someone say, "Hey, come on, where are you going? All right, come on.
Oh, you got nobody to hang with. Come hang with me.
Yeah, come on, I'll take care of you. Don't worry, we'll get you home. Don't worry about it. Come on.
And then you're stuck with them.
Yeah, Well, one guy, we were playing in Rochester, New York. It was a pizza parlor. And we had to wait for the numbers in between gags, Number 42, your pizza's ready. And then we do a bit.
Yeah.
And then number 43, right in the middle of the thing. And so the bouncer at the time, the Vietnam War was really happening. Yeah. And the guy had just came back from Nam, and he was on some sort of medical thing. Anyway, he was packing heat all over. He had a couple of guns on him, And I don't know why, because it was a comedy club, no one's going to rush the stage,
right.
But this guy was. He says, "Come on, I'll take it. Hey, come on, you're riding with me." Oh shit! And we get in the car, and he had a habit of talking to us without looking at the road.
Yeah.
And I think he did it on purpose, to fuck with us,
Oh, remember that guy in Denver? What was his name? He would literally talk to us the whole time. Oh my God, that is terrifying, man.
Yeah, they're driving like crazy, and that was, and he had been in Way and everything. Did I tell you the story about Way? You know what Way is in Vietnam? It was a citadel, and it was where old religious artifacts and everything else there. And that's where the Viet Cong really took over. And
because it was like an ancient city?
It's an ancient city, yeah.
Okay.
And so, the King family, the guys that owned Oprah.
Right.
That show, we know Michael King.
Michael King, yeah.
Well, Richie King.
King Entertainment, right?
Yeah, Richie King. I had sushi with him just before he died.
Yeah.
And he was telling me he was in Way. And I said, "You were?" "Yeah."
As a soldier.
As a soldier, a Marine. Because he what happened, he got caught stealing, hijacking cars in Boston.
Right.
And the judge gave him a choice.
The ultimatum.
You join go to Vietnam, or you go to jail.
Right.
And so he went to Vietnam. So he's in Way, and he got shot in the mouth.
Ooh.
The bullet went in, took out a molar, and went out his cheek. He was back on the line a week later.
That's it, huh? Yeah.
A week later, because he patched up the hole, the tooth is gone. He's back on the line a week later after being shot in the mouth.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. You got to lose an arm to go home, huh?
I would be home. I don't give a shit. He was tough. Well, Richie was tough,
Yeah.
But you lose a molar, fuck. Just a
I think those sergeants they're like, no, you're good. Get back to work,
Yeah, let me see you walk. Okay, you're good.
Yeah, can you hold a gun? Can you walk? Okay, get out there.
Well, Russia, they're notorious. They got the commandant with a gun, and anybody retreating, they get shot.
Well, but that's throughout history. There's always been one of those guys behind the charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always like.
I don't know about England. I don't think.
No,
England.
yeah, they did for sure.
England too.
Yeah. The captain or the colonel would stand there, charge, and then anyone that didn't charge, boom,
Whoa.
That'll motivate you.
Yeah, I guess so. Because you're going to die. You might as well die fighting for your
Can
country.
you imagine being during that era where you got to stand up and just.
Well, I saw the documentary on the last emperor or the first emperor of China. Mm-hmm. They had a super weapon. You know what it was? It was a crossbow. There he is, first emperor of China. Is that him? He was crazy. The first emperor of China. You know why he died? He thought they told him that if he ate mercury, he would live to be immortal.
It looks like a special kind of potion, Yeah. It looks pretty magical, mercury.
Yeah.
So I can see why they're like, oh yeah.
He ate it. And I told that to Harvey last night, the doctor. Yeah. Well, Harvey says, oh yeah. They had used mercury in some medicines.
Yeah.
Because it's some that's got something. But there's a crossbow.
Yeah.
And the crossbow would fire an iron bolt.
Yeah, right through armor.
Go through armor, go through walls.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was their special weapon. Oh man, he was crazy.
So you didn't have any heckler problems, and the club owners weren't that bad. When you were on the road.
No, well, if you pack a club, man, the club owners tend to become your best friend.
Right.
I had a lot of best friends.
And did you ever do 3 shows a night or only 2 shows?
I did 3 in Denver, but it was Comedy Works. The Comedy Works is one of the best. If I were to recreate a comedy
So they turn over that audience 3 times?
Oh yeah. Wow. They had an early show.
Oh, okay.
And you know
what's an early show, like 4 o'clock?
6.
So 6, 8, and 10?
Yeah, 6. Yeah, we did that many times. But the Comedy Works, is that the Comedy Works?
Who were the?
Oh wow, look at it.
Dad, who were the
best?
Who were the comics that kind of like you're on the road? Who were the other ones that were like coming in right after you or were there before you?
Quite a few. Chappelle and a lot of those guys.
Early Chappelle?
Yeah. When he was doing
stand-up. What other ones?
The guys that I really liked, Louis C.K.
He was working at the time doing clubs?
I got turned on to him and he influenced me a lot.
Right.
Because of his attitude and because that's what you do. You steal premises,
right?
And
then you make them your own.
You make your own. If it fits, it works.
Right.
We had no problem with that. Yeah. Louis C.K. Man, what happened to Louis? Is he back doing comedy?
Yeah.
He's had 2 specials in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
He wrote out the cancellation.
Yeah. Well, he was beating his meat in front of people. I understand. He was married and he couldn't get. He was a white guy married to a beautiful woman that didn't want to have sex.
Yeah.
On demand.
Yeah.
See, that's the trouble with marriage. Once the kids come, and all of a sudden everything else doesn't. The kids take over.
I don't know what you're talking about. My marriage is amazing.
Well, it's best.
So what I'm trying to set you up with, okay, is that the road can be kind of depressing.
Totally.
Why is that?
Oh, totally. You're lonely.
Even though you're killing it on your shows.
Yeah, but a lot of like Chappelle and them, they would travel with their writers.
Right.
You know, they could afford to bring
Or
a
they
writer
know
with them.
they'd bring like the successful people like Fluffy and Chappelle. They would bring
Their entourage.
their opening acts to
Yeah.
hang with, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
you bring like a couple opening acts, and then that's your crew.
Yeah, I was fine when Cheech and I were on the road. It was no problem. You
Yeah.
know, we had each other. But when I was on there by myself, and then Shelby is so beautiful, I couldn't leave her at home.
Right.
You know, because I know that, especially she was such a dancer. You know,
Some
that
salsa
eventually-
king would
Well,
take-
I did lose her with the dance. You know, the salsa. You know, she did disappear. You know, she
Yeah.
wanted to be a dancer, and she couldn't dance. You can't dance with your husband. You know, we still have that problem. But yeah, so it was. I got a gig in Guam, and Guam is beautiful. You know, like Hawaii with Filipinos. You know,
Yeah.
and so the Guam, you know, I wanted her to come with me, and she was acting at the time, taking a lot of acting
Right.
lessons and everything, and so she didn't want to come. And then I said, well, how about if I put you in the show? And she went, okay, yeah. And then she started just introducing me.
Yeah.
And then eventually she started doing time.
Yeah.
And then you used to
Yeah.
help write her show.
Yeah.
You were the one that would. She would come to you. What do I do? What was that? What was that joke?
What was that joke?
I forget. What was?
Sometimes she would just butcher jokes, like not tell the punchline, or like just
But she survived because
her attitude. you
her
know.
real stories were so compelling,
Yeah.
and she's so sweet on stage. I mean, you can't buy that shit.
What's interesting is that there was a part of the audience that really appreciated her, and there was a lot of the female part of the audience. They really appreciated just having a female up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
there wasn't that many. You know, especially
No.
a feminine one.
Yeah,
You know.
that looked like her.
Yeah.
You know, and she was doing her comedy as opposed to doing someone else's.
Right.
You know.
Well, no, she's doing your comedy.
Well, I'd write for her. I would write jokes for her. And the way I would do it, I would write it and try them out, and then she would like it. She'd
Oh, yeah,
steal
she'd
it.
just steal your
She'd
joke.
steal it. And so I had to watch her show all the time to make sure that I wasn't going to repeat my act. The one that she stole was great because the kids, you know, about kids doing drugs. Remember, I used to tell them, you know, if you're going, what was it?
Yeah. If you're going to use drugs.
If you're going to use drugs, replace them. That was the and don't. If you're going to steal his pot, leave a little. That way he thinks that he smoked it. You know.
She grabbed that one.
And
Huh?
she got that, man, and she ran with that.
All right. Well, let's do some other stuff now.
So we actually got a surprise delivery from Arnold for Tommy.
Did Arnold?
Yeah,
This
he
is-
sent that over.
Arnold's new book.
Oh, I love that. I was going to get this. There's a couple of, yeah.
Are you going to
Arnold.
sign it and send it back to him?
He should have signed it. Why didn't he sign it? Oh, he just sent it over.
I asked him. I asked for a signed copy, but I guess
Did you?
yeah, but it didn't. It didn't happen.
Oh, I'll find him out.
You know, I have a signed copy of his. I think it was Education of a Bodybuilder.
Oh,
or
yeah.
something like that.
You got that?
And then I saw him at the gym. I was young, and I saw him at the gym. I brought it up to him, and he's like, "No, I'm not doing any autographs." And then Zabel said, "Oh, no, that's Tommy's son. You do it." I said, "Oh, okay." And
Oh,
signed it.
Zabel got it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's good. No, Arnold's great. When he heard I was sick, you know, he came looking for me. He started having breakfast at Le Pen.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of times. But he doesn't like being touched, and I went behind him and grabbed him by his traps one time, you know, and you could feel him tense up. Hey, Arnold, you don't like this, do you?
Y'all were talking about some of your records that you had, and I found your wedding album records. I just kind of wanted to ask what was the backstory on this one.
Well, we were kind of enamored with what's that photographer? What's her name? And she did all the freaks and everything else.
Is that Lou right there next to you?
Anyway, we're supposed to be Siamese twins. That's Cheech and I. We're Siamese twins.
Is that Lou Adler standing next to you?
Who?
Lou Adler?
No. It's they're all extras. Yeah, it was just friends and extras for the wedding picture. And the bride is so ugly that she had to have a bag over her head. That was back in the 70s, I guess. Huh? Yeah. I don't think we did records in the 80s. So that was 73 or something.
Did y'all hear Bigfoot is back?
Yeah, I saw the little clip. It doesn't look very believable though.
Where'd they find him?
Can you see that, Dad?
I can't see Bigfoot. Where is he in there?
He's pretty camouflaged in the middle.
Was he camouflaged as a rock?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh. Well, you know the story of Bigfoot in Vancouver Island is that there's this tribe or a collective of people that were antisocial, giants.
Right.
And so they would go off by themselves, and that's what people would see them,
And survive by themselves?
Yeah.
That's tough wilderness to survive by yourself.
Yeah. Well, when you're that big and that, when you're like a grizzly, grizzly's got no problem in the wild.
Well, you know what I was thinking too, like, man, it's hard enough to catch fish with all the most high-tech, hooks and lures and bait and all that kind of stuff. Like, if you just had nothing and you had to carve some hooks out of bone and a stick and then, braid some twine and then catch fish. I mean, man, I'd be going hungry. I don't think I'd survive.
Yeah. No, you had to know where the food was and what to eat.
Yeah.
See, most people.
But I guess the knowledge is just passed down. So without your ancestors, you would have no chance.
Yeah, I told you I saw a Quest for Fire the other day.
Yeah.
And that really shows you a lot.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they had all the dummies white guys. Because the early cavemen weren't white,
I think so. It depends on which region.
Yeah. Anyway.
So another story is Florida siblings aged 10 and 11 stole their mom's car and got caught 200 miles away from home.
Whoa.
Well, Alachua County deputies had a bit of a surprise when they pulled over a white sedan traveling on I-75 last week. They say when the car stopped, a 10-year-old boy got out of the driver's seat. They say he and his 11-year-old sister stole their mom's car and traveled over 200 miles away from home. The kids were reported missing by their mother to the Northport Police Department. Deputies say they later learned the kids took the car because they were upset with their mother after she took away their electronic devices. The mother.
That's addiction, right?
You don't take away their electronic devices.
My little girl's like, I want my iPad.
And she says that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ben and I are working on an exercise machine that charges the batteries to the iPhone. And so if the kid wants to use the iPhone, he has to charge up his batteries doing the exercise.
Right.
And I want to do that with a bicycle,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should do that for you.
Fuck that.
Hook it up to like a bike, a bike machine, a stationary bike.
No, I'll do it to make sure it works. But
No, I think just earn your Screen time, Dad.
Yeah, okay. I'm not I like exercises, Woman rescued from outhouse. Did I ever tell you what Michael Malcolm had to go through?
What?
Michael's dad was a mechanic,
Yeah.
and Michael accidentally dropped one of his favorite wrenches into in the outdoor toilet.
What was it, in his pocket or something like that?
Something, yeah. Anyway, the dad tied a rope to Michael's ankle
Get
and
that
lowered him
fucking
in
tool,
to
huh?
the shit house. to get
Please, Dad, don't drop me. Don't drop me.
to get the wrench.
Well, we all know it stinks to lose something expensive, but a Michigan woman learned the hard way that some things just are not worth retrieving. And that's because police had to rescue her from the bottom of an outhouse at a boat launch. The woman got trapped after she lowered herself all the way into the toilet to fish out her Apple Watch, which had fallen in. Officers had to remove the whole toilet, then lower a strap down to hoist her to safety. Their rather obvious advice to others: if you lose something in a porta potty or an outhouse, don't go in after it.
Wow. See, that's a modern one. The ones we're talking about is the old-fashioned dig a hole.
Yeah, and then you just cover it up and then move it and then dig another hole.
Yeah, well, Halloween, they used to push them over. That was a big deal. Push over the outhouses. And then...
But the outhouse is just a shed, and there's a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
But when that thing would fill up eventually,
Yeah. You
Move
tear
the
it
shed.
down. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
seems to me,
Or build a new one.
yeah.
But if you're that poor, you got living in an outhouse, you got other problems besides word of shit, Dolphins deliberately get high. Oh yeah, I believe that. Dolphins, everybody likes to get high.
Butterfish is one of the most toxic fish, and its toxin can easily kill a dolphin. But dolphins have learned that small doses of the toxin make them hallucinate. Gangs of young male dolphins chew on the poor fish and pass it among one another for half an hour. They then show signs of getting high because of the narcotic effects of the toxin.
I want-
It's not just dolphins. Several other animal species are also drug addicts.
Yeah, I wonder what a dolphin trip is like, like what do they hallucinate,
That they're human
Yeah.
and they're walking on feet.
I like those dolphins that like trying to fuck the girls, you ever seen those ones?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get horny. All that water and being naked all the time,
This is a crazy stunt video that kind of went wrong.
Never tried to jump out of a plane when they suddenly got stuck.
Whoa, what happened?
He's stuck on the plane. Oh, the guy's right there. Oh shit.
They were able to free themselves and parachute safely to the ground.
What happened?
Yeah, they were able to.
Oh!
Oh shit.
The amazing thing is
Oh. It's okay. Wow. Get the fuck away.
the amazing thing.
What are you doing? It's
Yeah.
a big animal. You get in the way? Come on.
She thought
What, are you
she was
gonna
gonna
save it?
catch it, like a little baby falling out of a burning building. I got it, splat.
You know how much weight that'd be? What,
300
400
pounds, yeah.
Wow. That's really interesting.
660 to 770.
But that's the big elephant seals.
That elephant seal?
Yeah. See the bottom of that 330 to 4.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's crazy.
Seals are funny. Like when you see them out in the ocean, it's like a dog popping up. Hey, what you, like
So intelligent.
they're
too.
like a dog. They're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
All right, to close things out, we have some fan questions this week.
Sure.
where's the coolest place you ever get high?
Oh, did you want to hear another one, a story? What's the weirdest encounter you have had with a stranger? With a stranger. That's a good question. Oh, I guess one time Cheech and I and John Belushi and a bunch of people from the committee were all hanging out, and all of a sudden this stranger kind of made his way through the crowd, walked over to me and handed me a $20 bill and said, "You need this more than I do," and walked away. And everybody looked at, what? But I was the only guy with long hair.
Whoa.
So I think the guy thought I was homeless or something. Or either that or he was showing off in front of Belushi and them, you know. I don't know. Did you reset your mind body when you're how do you reset your mind body when you're in a slump? I take a substance that looks like a cigarette, a homemade cigarette, and I put it in my mouth. Then I light it. Then I take a toke, and then I have to go, what was the question? He's already doing it. Just want to make sure he's doing it safely. Well, there's really no danger of smoking weed.
Yes, there
In the
is.
old days, there used to be seeds. If you didn't clean the seeds would pop. And it put an eye out. It never did, but it
No,
could. You know.
Dad, it's for a 15-year-old kid to be smoking weed. It's not the best thing for their brain.
Says who?
Says the medical establishment. Says the people who study brains. But I guess if maybe you don't have that high IQ to begin with, does it matter?
How else? Where are we going to get our politicians if we don't have You know? We have to keep churning them out.
But what I've heard, though, is, you know, like, you kind of want to, if you have any kind of mental issues, like underlying, like real clinical issues, you might want to not do the psychedelics. Because...
Well, it depends. That could clear it up. It could make it worse, you know.
Well, yeah.
It all depends on where you're at, you know. But what did you do for your 35th birthday? Probably
Shit.
picked my wife. 35th birthday. Where was I at 35? I was I in Motown?
That's a strange question.
Can't
You're
remember.
looking for inspiration for their 35th birthday.
Oh.
I'm guessing. So I had a party. And I had a cake with 35 candles on it. And I invited everybody except my enemy. I didn't invite him. Okay, what's your all-time favorite movie that you weren't in? No, I told Ben this one, and Ben said he was going to see it, but I haven't talked to him since. My all-time favorite movie is called Badlands. It's by Martin Scorsese, one of his first movies. Sissy Spacek.
It's not Scorsese.
Huh?
It's Terrence Malick.
Oh, Terrence Malick wrote it, but I'm talking about Martin
It's not Scorsese.
Sheen. Martin Sheen.
Yeah.
Martin Sheen starred in it.
Like, you know, yeah.
Martin Sheen starred in it. Oh, is that it? Badlands?
Yeah.
The best movie to me
That's
Ever,
Martin
ever.
Sheen is Sissy Spacek,
ever made. That's it, right
and
there.
Terrence Malick did it.
Badlands.
That's your fave?
That's my all-time favorite movie. And you know what? Why? Because it was such a horrendous story, but he told it in such a way that you were the bad guy, which is Martin Sheen. You were on his side. You wanted, even though what he did was horrendous, but it was kind of understanding. It was you got to see it.
Okay, what's your top 5 movies? That's one.
That's one. There's another one called The Traveling Executioner.
Oh, we talked about this last week.
Oh, you got the boring.
Okay.
The boring.
Next, next one. What's another one?
Okay, movies. Well, I like The Godfather. I see, you know, a lot of all the groundbreaking one,
Right.
you know. And let's see. I can tell you the movies that I wasn't blown away,
No, no.
that everybody loved.
We don't need to do that. Give me one more movie.
One more movie. Up in Smoke. Yeah.
You're a big fan of yourself, huh?
Oh, big time.
That's cool.
Big time. Oh, yeah.
That's
Up in
cool.
Smoke. You know, Up in Smoke, it was such a groundbreaker for so many people.
What's that movie called again? Who's in it?
Up in Smoke?
Yeah.
Richard
I
Marin.
never heard of. I never heard.
It was
of
Richard Marin's first movie
Really?
before he did Nash Bridges.
Oh.
And it's my.
Were you
first
in that movie?
I actually wrote it,
Really?
but because I was so stupid, I didn't really make a point of telling everybody I wrote it. You know, even though I'm on the credits,
Right.
written by Cheech and Chong.
Right.
See, but I wrote the best parts.
All right. You seem a little tired.
Any more questions? That's it.
That's it.
Are we over?
We're done.
The party's over. They don't do that anymore, do they? Remember Monday night football? The party's over. Time to call it a day.
No.